Hello everyone. This is Maria Rodello, and you're listening to Adulting 101, the podcast that covers the growing experience and challenge that comes with becoming an adult, from financial conversation to relationship and personal growth. In today's episode, we're going to talk about credit score. I think credit score are one of those things that you hear just like many things in personal finance that are super important to your financial life. However, no one tells you what it is, what to do, or how it actually works. But everyone tells you you're supposed just to magically know about it. Your credit score does not define you as a person, but I like to view it and think that it's like your adulting GPA, as it can be the best representation of how responsible financially you are as an adult. Canada and the United States are among the countries that use credit score for almost everything, like applying for a loan for a house, a car, a job, and even to lease an apartment. My first experience with credit score goes back to when I was 24 years old. When I wanted to lease an apartment by myself for the first time after living with roommates for so many years, that it was during this process of getting all the documentation and for the application that I was also asked for my social insurance number from the landlord to check my credit score and see if I qualify for this apartment. I was so confused. I was not even sure if I had one. In today's episode, we will be talking everything that we need to know about credit score with Aina Kudaiberdiva, data analyst at Barrowell. Barrowell is a Canadian company with a single goal in mind to help people make great decisions about credit by providing free credit score report and personal loan and product recommendation. So, if you want to boost your credit score and get to know what to do and what not to do, just keep listening. Hi, Aina. Thank you for joining. How are you today?
Hi, Maria. I'm very well. Thank you so much for inviting me. How are you?
I'm pretty well, thank you. I'm actually excited to get to know everything about credit score. Can you tell me in simple words what is a credit score?
Yeah, that's excellent that you first question is that because one of the most common concerns about credit score is the simple meaning of it. In simple words, I could say that credit score is a prediction of your credit behavior. There are different factors that are needed to determine your credit score, and it is divided into different percentage and together brings up a final number. This final number could be from anywhere between 300 to 900.
Okay, so now that you're providing me numbers, what is considered between this number a good and a poor credit score?
Well, we have four ways to identify the status of your credit score. We go from excellent, very good, good, and poor credit score. An excellent credit score is above 760. Very good credit score is between 725 to 759, but the average 606 to 724. This is considered okay and like a good credit score. Anything below that, like 575 or less, will be considered a poor credit score. This means that banks, lenders, landlords, even some employers will consider you less financially responsible.
You mentioned that early the credit score is determined by different percentage and that this together brings a final number.
Correct.
How are these percentage divided and what each of them represent?
Well, those percentage are divided into five factors. Some of the small ones are things like credit inquire with a 10%. So that is whether or not you apply for a credit. We have the credit mix also with a 10%. And that is more about the types of credit, things like your cell phone plan. Then we have a 15% that represent credit store. So that's how long you have had the credit product. And your big ones are 30% credit utilization. And this is how much you are using of the credit you have available. And the biggest one is a 35%, and that represents the credit story, which just go to show how important it is to pay every single credit card and every single bill on time. That's the most important part, to pay on time.
I see how it all makes sense when it's brought up all together for this final number. I find it really interesting that Canada and the United States, and even other countries like the UK, they use credit score. Back home, from where I come from, we don't use credit score. So, why is it important in Canada to have a good credit score?
Yeah, it is actually very important. And I can tell you that with two reasons. The number one is your ability to borrow money from a credit card, but also the big milestone in your life. Things like getting a mortgage for your first home or being able to finance a car. And this leads into number two. If you have a higher credit score, you will be able to get a better interest rates on the money that you borrow. And this is because with a good credit score, lenders feel that they are taking on less risk when they lend money to you. 1 or 2% might not sound like a lot, but on a huge amount of money, like the size of a mortgage, actually tens of thousands of dollars difference in interest.
Uh, how can someone that is 18 or in the early 20s can start building credit score?
Well, I would say paying your cell phone bill on time every month is a good way to start. But also, if someone that is 18 or in their early 20s don't have a credit card, they can apply for a secure credit card. When you pay a deposit, and this deposit becomes your credit limit. This is an excellent option for those who want to build the credit score from scratch and have never had a credit product before. So this is a way to start your credit building journey. And after about 12 months of using your secure card responsibly and paying your bill on time every month, you will likely qualify for a traditional credit card.
So, and after getting this secure credit card and start building that record, what are some of the things that can hurt and bring the credit score down?
Again, late payment. It's very important to pay credit cards and your bills on time. Also, applying for a lot of credit all at once. That's not good for keeping your credit score high. It brings it down. Also, the biggest mistake we see people make is closing their oldest credit card. Maybe it was a secure card or let's say a student card. Because they got a better card with better rewards and more cash back, that's great. But the problem with closing your first card is that that's likely the longest credit account that you have had. So by closing that, you're wiping out a huge amount of your credit history. And the credit history is a huge factor that makes your credit score. It is a far better idea to keep the credit card open and, in fact, make an effort to use it a couple of times a year. You can even set up one of your bills to come off credit card and then set up an auto payment, for example, and pay off that credit card. Then it's just going to keep itself going without you having to do anything. That's one of the best ways keeping your oldest credit card.
What are some other things that people can do to bring the credit score up?
Pay your credit card off every month, and if it's possible, twice a month. Okay, that's one. Then keep your credit balance below 30% of your credit limit. Also, accept the credit increase when your bank offers it. You are already pre-approved. They don't need to conduct a credit score, so it is better when they offer it to you. But also, you can always ask if there is a lastly, now you can report your rent. Okay, signing up with Barwell Rent Advantage, you will have your payments report to Equifax Canada, which is the largest consumer credit bureau in Canada. So monthly rent payments will contribute to building your credit story and your credit mix, all of which contribute to your to have a really strong credit score.
Is it true that every time your credit score gets checked, does it bring it down?
Well, actually, this is one of the most common concern people have about their credit score being checked up all the time. So checking your credit reports or credit score will not impact credit score at all. And this can be checked for free with Borrowell app. Checking your credit score, it is actually a good way to ensure the information is accurate and there's no irregularity at all. This we consider as a soft inquiry, but one that could affect it is a hard inquiry. And this would be applied when you are doing a mortgage application, out of finance application, or a credit card on a student loans. All of those we consider a hard inquiry, and yes, if you do this, it will affect it.
Okay, wow. Thank you so much for answering all my questions. I think I have a better understanding, and I hope that all my listeners have a better understanding of what is a credit score and how it works. I'm so happy for speaking with you. Thank you so much again.
Oh, no, thank you for having me again.
Those were the basic questions and answers on credit score. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Adulting101 and don't miss any new episode every Thursday with your host, Maria Rodello. Sayonara, ciao ciao, and bye bye.